Howdy guys, just want to make a little video showing my actual face on camera, since lately all you've seen is the outward facing video, and it's good to get feedback on that. It seems like people have been enjoying it. I enjoy making those videos, and I'm still trying to sort of sort out the way I want to make different videos and like the way I want to put things together. So I'll keep changing things up to try to keep the content interesting, informative, and varied, you know, because I think people like to see all kinds of different things in this trucking YouTube universe. So I just wanted to share a sort of like recap of the day for the end of day. I had a good, straightforward, simple day of trucking today. Got up pretty early, and it's the first day back after my home time, and it's my last week at this job before I switch jobs, which has stirred up some of the usual anxiety that I can't really control. It's just, I think it has a lot to do with a certain level of, I don't know if I want to throw around the term, use the term PTSD, because that's kind of a loaded term. But given the number of times I've moved and the stress under which I've moved throughout my life, I do think that there's a level of that where every time I go through a transition where I have to change my living circumstances, it stirs up these heightened feelings of anxiety in me, and it can interfere with my sleep. I'll have like a lot of dread and stuff like that. But this time it feels, so far, it feels a little better because I've already been through a couple of transitions within trucking, and this feels like one of the better ones. I have a really positive outlook on the situation. It feels like one where I'm taking control of things rather than feeling like I'm going into a situation with a set of compromises in mind, if that makes sense. So I feel pretty good about it, and I'm just going into it with a positive mindset. And it's never easy to like move all of your stuff out of a truck and then travel somewhere with your car like totally full to the top of all of your stuff, with all of your stuff, and then wait until you have an assignment and live in and out of a hotel room. It's like the whole transition when you're going into a new trucking job is unpleasant. But I think because I've done it a few times now, it's like, okay, I know a little bit more what to expect, and I know that I'm gonna come out okay in the end. You know, it's like you just got to talk yourself through and be like, it's gonna be fine. I keep looking over at this truck because I'm pretty sure there's a dog sitting in the driver's seat waiting for the driver to come back. There's a lot of dogs at this particular truck stop tonight, which always makes me happy to see them watch. It's actually a guy with like his head down, and he's gonna lift his head up and startle me or something. I'm just kidding. But this truck stop, I just want to share something, like a little story with you. So this truck stop is a real shit show, and I'm not trying to like show people in their trucks or anything, but you can just see it's really full, and it's currently 6:40. We are just outside of St. Paul, so it's like one of the last major truck stops within about 40 miles of St. Paul, Minnesota. And I have a drop off there in the morning at 6:20. I need to be there, so I'm gonna try to head out by like 5:15 at the latest. I was supposed to have my fuel stop here, but I told myself when I was on my way here that I would wait until the early morning to do the fuel stop if it was as chaotic as I expected it to be. And the thing is, I've been to this this Flying J a number of times, or a handful of times, but when I looked at it, I was like, I remember this, the town, the name of the town. I've definitely been here before. My company has sent me here to fuel, and I looked at it on the satellite view, but they all start to kind of blend together. So I couldn't remember exactly which one it was until I pulled up to it, and I was like, oh, it's this one. Like, this one is always packed and chaotic because of it's, you know, one of the few large ones near a major city. I'm watching a guy with a flatbed, a loaded flatbed, doing a blind back, and it looks like he knows what he is doing. Good on him. Well, he has a little help, as one should. But what I wanted to share is when I got here, it's this weird lot where I'm sitting right now. It's like back in this corner, and it's snowy back here, so there's actually like a whole lane that can't be used because or a whole parking spot because it's got too much snow in it. It wasn't fully plowed away. And as I was going around this, like, you can see, I hope I'm showing it well enough, but you can see like all these trucks out here. These guys are all waiting just to get around, and then, you know, there's the guy in the flatbed who's doing his thing, and So they're waiting on people who are trying to park, and then also the fuel island is around that turn. And you can get to the fuel island another way, but you're at a really awkward angle if you approach it that way. So this lot is just crazy and chaotic. And I was going around, and the spot where that flatbed guy is pulling in is a reserve spot. There were only reserve spots left over there. And I was like, well, I might have to pay for a reserve spot. And then this guy is just walking back toward his truck, I guess. And he's like, there's a spot over there next to that International. I'll help you. Just like, and it's like what I was just talking about in that video, the outward facing video, where I was talking about people helping you. Like, I could have been in line for the fuel island, but I must have shown somehow that I was looking for a parking spot, and I totally didn't see this spot because the way the corner of this lot is, when you're approaching it from that way, you can't see into this back corner well enough to be able to tell there's a spot there. And it was pretty much a straight back. It was a little bit of a blind back from where I was when I got into it, but because I didn't know it was there and I wasn't set up for it. And he was like, I'll tell you. And I didn't fully understand where he was telling me to go because I hadn't seen it. And then I figured it out, and I was backing, and he totally helped me. And it was just so nice. And he was telling me, is like, anytime you're at a customer, like if you're sitting waiting to get a door or whatever, or like if you're somewhere overnight and you have time, just practice doing blind backs and practice doing blind side parallel parking. He's like, people think that's a bad thing to do, but you should just do it. And I was like so appreciative that he took the time to help me, totally unprompted. I didn't ask or anything. And it was one of those instances, you know how I say sometimes like you don't really want help, or sometimes people try to help you and it's like not the right kind of help. Like you can tell the person isn't the best. Not everybody's good at signaling to people. And it's not that that person's not good at it. It might be that for whatever reason, the two of you don't communicate the same way, you know, and that's all it is. Or then there's people who think they know how to direct you and they don't, you know, it's a variety of options. But this guy knew how to direct me, and he was wearing an army hat, like a US Army hat. So, and he came across with that type of confidence and like that air of like, I don't want to say authority, but where he immediately instilled confidence in me that he knew what he was doing. And that is, I knew right away I could trust him. You know, I could trust him to direct me, and he wasn't going to steer me in some weird way. So, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on in here. It's just so chaotic, but I just am so grateful. He said his name was Fisher. I'm assuming that's his last name. That spot where I thought that was a dog in the driver's seat, I think it is actually a driver with his head down. I think that's a hat I'm seeing. Sorry, sir. But thanks, Fisher. You're not going to see this video, but man, did you help me. I really appreciate it. And you saved me like 20 or 25 bucks because I was about to just pay to park because I had 2 hours left on my clock. I know there's a rest area down the road, but I just wanted to stop. I was tired, and I was like, I got to get up at like 3. I just want to stop. So this time change, side note, is throwing me off because it's so light out now and my body wants exercise. And like, I want to, you know, I was thinking like, I just walked back from taking a shower, and I was like, I take my kettlebell out and do some swings. You know, I have room because there's half the space next to me that nobody can park in, and there's like room there. But I'm just tired, and I want to not go to bed, but I want to eat and just be lazy and watch something. But it's sunny out. It's an adjustment. Anyway, that's all I got for you. I hope you're having a good night.